That's coming from underneath my feet.
There was walking out here.
I don't understand what's just gone on there.
All I'm seeing is big black eyes. I can't do it, I hate it. I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I've brought you to West Yorkshire and to a beautiful 17th century home with connections to Charlotte Bronte, a legendary ghost story, and also some strange ghostly goings on. Welcome to Most Haunted and to Oakwell Hall. Originally built in 1583 by the then affluent Fred Batt, this beautiful home once dominated the local landscape. It is so tortuously woven into the very fabric of Yorkshire's history that even the facts surrounding it have almost taken myth-like status. After supporting the Royalists in the Civil War, the Batt family had to pay a fine of £365 to the parliamentarians, a great deal of money in the 17th century. This turned their fortunes and led to their demise. Finally, the hall was sold and later became a boarding school. It was during this time that Charlotte Bronte visited and was so inspired that she used it as fieldhead in her novel Shirley. Today, the hall is a beautifully kept time capsule, and just being in it is like travelling back to the 1600s. Maybe that's why it's said to house so many spirits. From poltergeists to dark shadows, full apparitions to disembodied voices, and an atmosphere that defies belief. This old and great family home has a legendary haunting tale that sends shivers right down your spine. On a cold, windy December night in 1684, the household was surprised to see William Batt return from London so early. He looked pale and refused to speak as he walked through the main hall, up the stairs and into his bedroom. When the family followed, they found that he had completely disappeared, leaving nothing but a bloody footprint. A few days later, a messenger arrived at the house with some bad news. William Batt had been killed in a duel in London the very same night he'd been seen in the house. And this is the bedroom where he vanished, and also his bloody footstep was witnessed on this very floor. This is supposed to be the most haunted room in the whole of the house. Dark shadows, knocking noises, poltergeist activity, and the smell of tobacco seems to seep through these very walls. Just down from the bedroom is this balcony area and a study room, all with the original floorboards, and it's very atmospheric indeed. Now, this small room allegedly has a poltergeist that likes to dismantle the shelves and throw valuable items all on the floor. So who haunts this house? We have one night to find out. Someone who knows Oakwell Hall and its hauntings so well is heritage manager Eric Brown.
The room that we're in at the moment is called the Painted Chamber, and it's the room that our famous ghost is associated with, and that's the ghost of William Batt. This is the room that he supposedly walked into and disappeared, and at the time all that was left of him, so the story goes, was a single footprint in blood on the floorboards here. As well as the ghost of William, we've had a number of other experiences that people have had, sightings, smells even as well. Pipe smoke is sometimes smelt. We've had a number of sightings of sort of shadows, figures, particularly on the balcony over the Great Hall. A number of visitors, independent of each other, who've said that they've heard children or seen children around the staircase. One night when I was locking up, and it was quite late at night at this time, it was about 10 o'clock, there was nobody else around in the house. I suddenly heard this very loud, repeated banging noise, like somebody knocking on a door or hammering a piece of wood really hard. So my first thought was, it made me jump at the time, but my first thought was perhaps it's the people who come to do the repairs on the window, the broken window outside. So I went out, nobody, no van, no people, no nothing, everybody gone. And I even did a complete walk around the building externally. There was nobody around at all. We have people who feel very uncomfortable about going in certain rooms as well. We have a room called the New Parlour Chamber. We've had people who just will not go in that room. We even had a lady who came into the front door of the hall and said, "I can't come in here."
With such a history, we wondered what namesake Fred Batt had to say about the place.
I've been really looking forward to the location tonight because I've got a family connection here. The person that built this place has the same name as me, and the first owner has the same name as me. And I'm hoping there'll be some activity and they'll come forward and say hello. Of course, the other reason I'm here tonight is looking at the darker side of the paranormal. And this place should have a devil dog here. They were called shuck dogs in their day, and they have a luminescence emanating from their mouths. Apparently the area of Birtley is well known for fairy rings as well. I don't believe in them myself. I mean, who believes in fairies? But you never know. The other thing I want to find tonight is the ghost of William Batt. Now, he's an ancestor of mine, and he comes up the path, through the hall, up the stairs, into his bedroom, and leaves a bloody footprint on the floor. So why? Why does he keep coming back here? Why have so many people seen this solid figure in the hallway walking up the staircase? I want to find out tonight why he keeps coming back.
As always, before we start any investigation, we need to speak to skeptic Glenn Hunt. Well, this is an absolutely beautiful house, a great history, but the one thing that intrigues me is the ghost of William Batt that has been seen walking through this main hall, up the stairs, and then disappears in one of the bedrooms and allegedly left a bloody footprint.
This is probably a story that's been handed down over generations, you know, as people used to sit around the fireplace. There was no television. People used to love telling stories and anecdotes, and at Christmas time. So it's probably been changed over the years, that story as well.
It's a great story though, isn't it?
Oh, it's fascinating, but whether it's true or not remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Well, I'm hoping it is very, very true. The other thing that intrigues me is the little room up on the top of the balcony where there's a poltergeist that likes to make itself known quite regularly. It takes the shelves off the wall and throws the items on the shelves on the floor. And that's when nobody else is in the property.
Well, you know, we've had things thrown at us in previous programmes, so I'd be quite interested to see if anything like that happens tonight. It'd be interesting, maybe we could put a camera in there and just see what happens after a while, perhaps.
Over the period that you've spent with the Most Haunted team, you've seen things sort of progress, and like the knocking sensation that we've got now, that's prevalent in this house.
Right.
What do you make of that?
Well, it's clearly an energy, isn't it? There's no denying it. Anybody who says, oh, it's tapping of feet, it's people just knocking on the sides, there's somebody else around the corner, it isn't, you know. It's easy to dismiss things like that when you're not actually here, but there are people all over the country who go on ghost hunts and see these kind of things and experience them for themselves, and they will vouch for it, just as I can say that these things really do happen. Now, whether it's the spirit of dead people or just some kind of unquantified natural energy that we still haven't worked out what it is yet, it's clearly some kind of energy. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's coming from the dead, but it might be just some weird force of nature. I mean, I won't deny I put my hand up against walls and floors and doors, and I can feel the physical vibration of the knock going on. And one of the reasons when I hear a knock, I go shooting off to have a look and investigate it is I want to see if there's somebody around the other side doing it. And admittedly, there isn't. There's some force at work, but is that force the dead? Not necessarily. It's good. I mean, things are happening, whether it's the paranormal, not necessarily. You know, I've still yet to see a ghost. Who wouldn't want to see an actual ghost? And then you can possibly say, this is genuinely the thing. But is this place haunted? Have all the other locations that we've been to really haunted? Or is it just some natural phenomena we can't explain? Well, at the moment, I just can't explain it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's ghosts.
By the time we finish with you, you will have seen something to convince you.
Do you know what? I hope you're right.
I know I'm right.
With the team fully assembled, I was eager to begin our investigation into this wonderful yet haunting house.
Well, this is a beautiful hall, isn't it? I love the fireplace. I love everything about it. The atmosphere is fantastic. There isn't a nasty, negative feel at all.
It's a lovely feeling.
It's very homely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually.
It's really, and it's, you know, families have lived here, your family.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued by this fantastic ghost story of Captain William Batt coming through this archway, through this main hall and off there. So solid as well.
Yeah, but, you know, they say it was one blooded footstep on the floorboards upstairs. If he'd traipsed his way through here, why weren't there more, you know, blooded footsteps across here? Why aren't we seeing those?
Well, who knows? And what about the demon dog?
Well, there's been demon dogs in the area. That's what you've got to look out for.
That's interesting. I'd like to hear people's take on that and exactly what they saw. Should we head upstairs?
Yeah.
So we're following the journey of Captain Batt, and he would have come up these stairs. His ghost would have walked through here into this bedroom, and apparently the footprint was seen here. This is where the footprint was seen. Just one.
Well, the floorboards were taken up because when the place was a boarding school, the headmistress took the floorboards up, I'm led to understand, so it wouldn't freak all the pupils out at the time, so they weren't scared and they'd sleep properly in the bedrooms at night.
Frighten the girls.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This bed, obviously, it isn't original to the house, and all the furniture in here is totally different. What I love about this place is if a ghost does come back, it would be like a time warp because nothing's really changed. There's a bit of furniture has, but it's fantastic how it's all, you know, the majority of it is the same as it was in its day.
That's if ghosts really do exist.
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
Now, this is